Yes, there with you. You know, there's so much things happening in Jamaica that it's very difficult for just scatter through the whole of them, you know, because one of them must be of more importance to you. And right now, to me, the important thing now is this land thing where the government come up with and move people from land and also block off the beach them to give private investors access to the beach, and then we can get access to it. You realize this present government here has always been in opposition to the Rastafari community, whether consciously or subconsciously, because we can remember Pinnacle, it's Buster Man to go a Pinnacle go match it up, you know, and then make him what? National hero. We can remember Coral Garden, it's land, you know, it's land. Pinnacle was land war, you know. Well, I mean, Leonard will never war with them, but them did a war with Leonard Oil. See me when them go for Coral Garden, it's land again, you know, them a try to get off Rudolph, off of the piece of land. And it start a big thing, and it Buster again do that, you know. GLP, and now see we come forward again, you know, this time, you know, where, well, Buster, little boy, which is oldest, him come now to come match up people, and after him don't tell people, say them are sleep with them door open. He might take off them door and take off them wall. Anyway, we have the guests here, I hope we have the two of them, Dr. Devon Taylor in there?
Yeah, man, there.
All right. A long time. Jamaica Beach, Birthright Environmental Movement. And Marcus, is there?
Yes, Brother Woodstock.
Attorney for the Jamaica Beach Birthright Environmental Movement and representing the Rastafari family at the beach. Now, Devon, I want to ask you a question now. What is the Jamaica Beach Birthright Environmental Movement about?
All right. Good night. Give thanks for the space to express certain things in this time. So, Jamaica Beach Birthright Environmental Movement, JABEM, we're really an equal rights and justice movement organization that really seeks to undo what we see are discriminatory beach access and use of the sea policies and practices that is targeted against the Jamaican people.
Mm-hmm.
We really seek, to make beaches, access to beaches by Jamaicans, and friends of Jamaica. We want Jamaicans to have general rights in perpetuity and forever, as well as, we would like to establish, certain beaches to have rights of nature status. Mm-hmm. And what that really speaks to is recognition that, nature has a right to exist and to be free of human destruction, and beaches are ecosystems that are alive, and massive commercialization of the coast of Jamaica is transforming that ecosystem into barren lands.
Yes.
That then exclude the Jamaican people from their ecological heritage. So JABEM kind of captures all of that under one umbrella.
All right. When you find that, I guess it's against the government, really. This organization is against the government because them is the one who is breaching the protocols of the birthright environmental thing, right?
Well, it is the laws that are colonial. So, and that is something that we'll probably go into.
Yeah.
The Coastal Regulatory Law, which is the Beach Control Act of 1956, basically creates three classes of people in Jamaica, if you wish. And of course, the state reinforces that law.
Mm.
And the state also does not move proactively to, protect rights of access in Jamaica. So, the burdens falls on the state, and the who feels the pain, is the people. And many of, the provisions or the mechanism or tools that the people can use to push back at these discriminatory laws, the people are unaware of them. So JABEM has an educational component in it that we're trying to educate, the people of Jamaica about their rights and what rights they could use, in the courts, and that's where, Dr. Goff now comes in to help us to use some of those mechanisms and seeks to protect rights of the population.
All right, when you say the birthright of the people, right? The birthright means the people have a birthright for access to beaches.
Yes.
That means that means you cannot sell it. You cannot sell the beach. The government can't sell the beach.
The government can't sell the beach, but here's the madness around this now. So the Beach Control Act of 1956 basically states that the foreshore, all right, and the floor of the sea. Now the foreshore is where the wave rushes in, and then it comes up to a point and it runs back. The ice point it reaches is called the high water mark.
Yes.
All right. So that regulation is basically stating that from that high water mark out into the floor of the sea is crown, belongs to the crown. You might reinterpret that to say that is public space, that cannot be sold. So
all right. So wait. I understand. Take up in yourself. So like, all right, I could take for instance outer Bamal Beach now. Which part the family of them house? It's being past the water mark. It don't even reach near there. So who for land that is?
No, that is Dr. Goff is going to explain that, and we understand that clearly one of the family is on private land owned by a company called Wolf Group Limited.
How long ago them own it?
That is
let me talk to Goff.
Yes.
Goff. Yeah, all right, coming at this now. Because I asked a question a while ago, right? The land with the highest point to out in the shore it cannot be sold, right?
Right.
But even though we see hotel buy land where the shore, and I mean them build all wall in the water on the north coast.
Right.
You ever see that yet?
Yeah, I see that.
Wall, yeah, all right. So which part the family live now? That is a private land, them depend.
Right, so you have two families out there,
No, but the one where the other day when we were down there, down at the beach,
right.
Where they did a long time, yeah.
So that land actually, we were told was crown land, right? And they came this week to do some verification and to confirm that, with us this week as to the truth of that land. They were saying that they weren't quite sure and still to be confirmed,
So what it is now? What it is now? The last time you hear?
It was crown land. Last time you hear was crown land. Yeah.
So the people them live on crown land.
Yeah.
And that means, the crown land is what I call now the queen land.
Yeah.
All right. And according to the law, now I hear again now say, if you live on the land, you have to take, for control the land and own the land, you have to go wait 60 years for that.
Right.
All right. So explain now, as a lawyer what is the difficulty them find themselves in because them dead still? What is the difficulty?
Right. Well, the difficulty is that the large hotel development that has been published, is so we built down there, to take advantage of a new highway and the opening up of the eastern corridor of the island. Is going to, from what we hear, want to essentially privatize the beach. And what that would mean is that they would block off the public road that is there.
Where we use now, the one where we use now.
Yes, the one that we use now, which I just say is that really it's an official road. It's really a track that because the community itself built to access that beach when many decades ago.
Yeah.
And so now that they occupy 200 odd acres of land around that area, including land adjoining the beach, if they block off the public access point on their land, they're going to essentially block off access to the beach. Even while the beach still remains public material. Right?
Mm.
And that is how we know Beach Road Island get privatized. That people who own the land and joining, you get their enterprise and don't have no public access, or block on the public access, and you have to then, join as a patron or I guess at the hotel to the beach.
So you get trapped inside that between, if you depend on the crown land now, you get trapped between the government sea and the people, them private owner, them land over the other side.
Right. Yeah. Once it's satisfied the 60 years, once it's not satisfied the 60 years, according to them, then they will simply take the legal course to take it off. Right?
Mm. So what they would have to prove, say, them have them 60 years on it, what they would have to go prove?
Well, you have to prove that your family, your generation have occupied that property for that length of time, and that is only proved by the family they are at present giving, or somebody for the family giving a declaration of the length of time they've been there over the years, and then also the declarations from neighboring residents as well, and seek to the land and hold on living on there as well. You also have to do a survey of the land that is claiming, and pay up some taxes as well too, which I know that your family would only have been doing for many years, and essentially, yes.
Let me ask you now, if you're upon the land 60 years, and in a them time, old people who never have no land, them go find piece of land and go upon it, and them grand picnic, them barn upon it and them thing there, and them not really go on a land place if we go get no land in that for them name and all them something like. Suppose you depend on the land 60 years, the only proof you can have is what? What is the proof you have? Papers? You have to have papers.
You know what I mean? So things like receipt, pay taxes when you pay over the period of time. I mean, so that don't mean to get the owner still, but it's one of those evidence that can be used to establish ownership. So people pay the taxes over time, you have receipt to show that. As you say, show that you've also exercised ownership right over the land over that period of time. You fence it up, you plant some tree, you build a house, other buildings, and so forth. You have ownership exercising over there, and nobody don't come to you in that end of time, paying a rent.
Nobody don't come to you,
Yes, then that would then be in the law, the basis upon which you can claim as birth possession.
But you see, you have a whole heap of people who used to go, like, I call myself, because I never used to go to, you have some man where used to over there were dead now, Rasta. Gabby and all them Rasta man there, Them man there, I don't know if them man they know anything about no papers for land and all them something. Them just know say, them not have no land and them see piece of empty land and them are going to just pitch something there so and do it. So now it reach like a modern days and now where if you get on the crown land, you have to have papers for sure say you're on it for 60 years. A madness.
You have to have some evidence, right? I mean, so just the parallel, when Daddy was paying taxes, and so what his son Norman did as well, that land, and so was the Thomas family as well too,
So why them go by the so what is it? Why them still harass the family? Why them still harass them?
Well,
because them sell the piece of land next door and them want it.
Right, and I think they want to control the whole beach here. I mean, it's a very name brand beach over here. So it's not the beach there. If you have a beach, so only you and your hotels because you, that is a really big attraction there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they want to control that space, and so to have the freedom to do so, they don't want to have Rastafari foundation here.
But suppose the family come and say, the Bob Marley family say them don't want Bob Marley name used down there.
Then yes, that would certainly be our point as well too. That here the hotel would be wanting to capture this brand.
The name, yes.
You know what I mean? And just so because them buy piece of title,
All right, it's kind of come weird now. I hear say them arrest one of the brethren them down there the other day and pop out some herbs and things. How that go?
Yeah, so the system has really, been, I think, trying to exercise influence, to get the family to release voluntarily off the property. So the police have really, been paging the families down there, right? Regularly, whether from Bulbay Police Station or from Markley Police Station, or from Kingston, and again, this latest visit now resulted in a large contingent of police from Markley who had instructions to come and raid the family ganja farm.
Well, them know they there for a long time. Them know say they there for a long time.
Yeah, man. That was the first family there a long time.
No, I mean the herbs. Them know say the herbs they plant for a long. The policeman, they didn't know that.
Yeah, man. A secret. So far as the people have the right.
Yeah.
With that is concerned, that is not recognized, right? And so, of course, it was no secret.
So the youth are prison, the youth are jail, sorry. The youth are jail?
No, he got station bail. We got station bail for him, and so he has now been charged with possession and cultivation. And he's set for court at one of the parish court on the 9th of November.
Hey, it's a wicked thing them are doing, you know. You see, I see him till it happen in Carragher Garden, you know. And I see him till it happen in Carragher Garden, you know, with Rudolph, you know. Rudolph a plant something on the land, you know, and the people them come there and say, a private land, they must take it off. And the brethren, they are plant and I sell them food them, and they come beat the brethren and send them go to jail, prison. And see him till it happen, you know. I don't know if this little youth can know that history there, long at Carragher Garden, to come back as now, come and repeat history right this now. With that from 60 years, Rasta. 60 years.
It's a long time that law been used at the Rastafari there. Long time. Right? That law been used at the Rastafari. How the king of the Rastafari will follow the sacrament. You know what I mean? Here it is now. 7 years after the amendment, in the Dangerous Drugs Act, we still as the police being able to use the law as a weapon against what the party.
I sit down over there one day, you know, and I say, what if a policeman come down there, and I say, wait, police come down and so far, them. I know some of them attack about, you know, and I sit down in my car, and we're there, till them come to me and say, are you near motor, you know, and talk to me, say, it's one down here so far, I say, boy, them kill a man up the road. One brethren up at the top part, them they kill a brethren. And some little argument come up. But now me hear say them kill a brethren down the road now, a Rasta brethren. Down which part with it there. It's who them shoot. Who kill him? I know police kill him.
No. So you're making reference to on the beach?
Yeah man, on the beach matter. Because them kill a brother up the road, you know. Them shoot a brother up at the top part who come in. Them shoot a brother up there, you know. But now we hear Sunday that brethren dead, but down at the part where we did there now, that brethren they dead.
Yeah,
you know about that?
So that brethren, yeah man. The brethren, he died on the beach. It wasn't a police shooting, and the brethren died is one of Rasmaka's son.
Yeah.
You know, that matter is under investigation.
No, me no say no police shooting, me no. Me no say no police, but when I say that, give me back one here so now, right? It's just ironical that in at this time, you know, them lock off them light, rape the ganja, and shoot on the bridge in them. You know?
It is in the context of things, it is this whole thing is encompassing what I see as three components here, right? It is about dispossession of people from these spaces that people have a right to. It's about persecution of Rastafari, and it is about blocking beach access for the development of exclusive hotels. Now, we as Japan fight this problem all across the island, as you mentioned earlier, that this is a trend across the island. And, being from the North Coast corridor, we do see that, the numbers of beaches are, is decreasing at a alarming rate.
Yes.
And that is why, Jabin came into being also to say we have to do something on a national level to push back at this. Yeah. Otherwise, our youth, them will not have a beach to go to. And the youth, them now in communities all along the corridor, the youth, them out of Mammoth will just walk across the road and go into the
go down there.
Do so. And the government is failing to act in a proactive manner.
Yeah.
So, you raise an argument that if you declare that the foreshore, all right, and the floor of the sea is a public space, then the public should have access to that space.
Of course.
So it's a contradiction
Yes.
that it's a public space that the public do not have access
Can't go
to.
there.
So we're asking the government, explain that to the country. How
Watch
is
out,
it
man.
that
Madness.
the
Madness.
entire foreshore around the island is public space, but the public don't have
Can't go there. Can't access it. Unless you go to a private land. And
Right.
if in the other Caribbean in the other Caribbean island them,
Right.
you can go a beach just like so, you don't have to pay no money or beg nobody nothing. You know, if you want to go a beach, you just go a beach. Barbados, this, that, everywhere. You just go to the beach. I don't know if in a watch out, man, I will talk about it. Even in California, Santa Monica, the big beach there, people pack up the beach. In a Malibu, where all the big actors them there, them have a big step and go down to the beach, and the big people them have them big house up on the top there. I mean, the first time we got Ochi, me and my brother them build up a little thing, so we're gonna sell some food right in front of the place now where them call that place where you go tourist go and you go cross pan the road. What name again? Where the place name? Nobody know there. Where the place name? The place where out of Ramsey Bay, the man where you go up on the thing and you go cross on the rope. Mystic Mountain. Yeah, me and Profile them one day up there we used to live, you know, and cross the road was Little Duns River, you know. I would build one shop there. We could have gone down at the beach, bathe when we done the work and everything, and go down the river, go bathe and thing. Nobody not trouble with nothing. You see from them start to have this and that and all them something now. Lock. Totally lock.
Lock, like Little Duns River. Alright? So I mean I want to kinda circle back to the point you made about USA, you know, Barbados and many other countries across the world that beach access is basically free. Now, particularly in the United States, there is a law that subscribes to what they call the public trust doctrine that basically lays out that certain natural and cultural resources are preserved for the public and the people.
Yeah.
So like beaches, all right, is reserved. So every so, couple hundred feet, there is the law guarantees that an easement must be put in place.
Yeah.
Places like Oregon and Texas are very serious about that. So they basically declare the whole of them coastline as a highway, and a highway is a public space.
Yeah.
And then they mandate in the Constitution that those highways must be accessible by easement. And so they build that into the law of these lands. Jamaica now, in 1956, some colonial guy cook up a legislation called the Beach Control Act of 1956 and lays in there restriction that does not give Jamaicans any rights to use the sea. And I want to really, if I could find it quickly, read a quote that was published in the Jamaica.
Well, hold on, Devon. I could take a little break. And come forward. Yeah. Yes, Devon, you say something. You have to read something.
Because Dr. Karen Cooper is a fierce beach advocate, and she had written an article in the Gleaner, really kind of pushing for that. And the president of NEPA, or the CEO of NEPA, which is the National Environmental Protection Agency, basically respond to her article saying that in Jamaica, in common law, the public has no general rights of access to the foreshore or the floor of the sea. Okay, there's no general common rights over the foreshore except to pass over it for navigation. And if fast forward, that was in 2017. In 2020, the government wrote a document that basically says the same, but it went on to say there is no general right of bathing or to walk along the foreshore except where acquired by custom or by prescription. So the government really published to the people, and the law is clear to the people, that you don't have general rights of access. And it is clear as, daylight. So we are educating the nation that you don't have no right. So when you hear a man say, well, you have the right to be here. Not really, because even that public space that we talk about, the government lease these public beaches to hotels, and these leases have terms that can bar you from it. And so you see, you see people building hotels in the sea.
Yes.
Just go and Google and look around Jamaica, and you will see
man.
in the water.
Yes, them have wall in the water. But I can't say something. I don't know if it's a lawyer question. I can't say something. All right. Jamaica, I could say, all right, America, based off of what you said a while ago, America show you say 100 yard or so, you have to have access and all them really. All right, we can easily say that's a republic. Them not under British rule. Now, nearly all of the country them in the Caribbean, except for Haiti and is under European rule, like either Spanish or English. Now, how is it that the English colonize them in a Caribbean? It's only Jamaica we find we restrict people from beach. How is it that it's only Jamaica and the other British colonies them don't do that?
Marcus can comment, but what I would say is because in 1954, the man them gathered a commission together.
Which man them? Who's the man them?
Well, at the time, they remember at that time Jamaica was not independent.
At
that time, it had to be, people reported into the governance of England.
Like Manley and Chira. Not Chira, Manley and Buster.
Right. And they form a committee that put this Beach Control Act together. It was published in 56. And it basically says anything that was in place before 56, all right, is protected, is exempted from this act. But since that 56 date, everything had to fall under this governance. So the restriction, therefore, fisher folks. So fisher folks who, were practicing them trade on any beach before 56 were protected. But any fisherman who had that right in 56 would be in their 80s now. So that was kind of like a phase-out law. So fishermen don't really have too much protection under the Beach Control Act anymore because all of the old ones who did have died off. Then it comes to the beach goer now who says you don't have the right. The only right you have is the right to traverse, to pass over. And then now, here's the thing now. Who do they give the right?
The owner of the land next door.
Right. There you go.
The owner of the land next door.
Joining up all the rights.
Yes.
That's why the law is colonial. That's why the law discriminates, because it creates three classes of Jamaican: a beach goer, a fisherman, and a property landowner whose land joins to the ocean, and it discriminates, different
against the landless.
Here, and the law needs to go.
It discriminates against the landless.
Yes.
And then you call people squatter. I think that word should be a bad word in Jamaica. Exactly, you can't defend that in a court, so they not use squatter to deal with the people there. I want to tell you a word that squatter in your own country, Rasta.
Yeah.
Come here as no way name there. I look no land. Them bring you here so, and you never ask to come here, and now you're there. And they want to let you go now. They want to let you go and feed them own land. So which part you must go? In the ear?
So all these things I'm saying is really come right forward to reparations, but still, and not just still to be dealt with seriously, to the majority,
Yeah.
Land must be central to that. Land must be central to that.
Most you can't have it without land. Every war, we got to talk about it before in the programs, and every war we fight on earth, man, over land. And we come here so now and look how much land we have Africa, and we come here so now and we get a little piece around the corner there. The majority of people, them say, how much percent is 600,000 people is landless in what them call squatter, not to mention the people them who are rent house and no land ownership. So the majority of people not Jamaican have a land.
It is madness, and beach access is land rights, right? You have to have land rights because you have to walk on a land to get to the beach. And so serious reparative reform is necessary.
Yeah.
I want to mention, though, about one of the legal mechanisms that Jabem is using, and that is where Marcus now comes in to really bring these cases into the court. So there is a provision that says if there was any track, a roadway that leads to the beach that community has been using, people have been using, that traverse any land, you never really received a permission to walk down that track and go to the beach, and you've been doing so for 20 years or more, then you have the right to go into the courts and have the courts recognize that right. And so like that track which is leading from the Bull Bay St. Thomas Main Road that leads onto the Bob Marley Beach, that represents, you know, a track that folks have been using for more than 20 years, for 60 years. So it falls under that prescription mandate. And so we are using that now.
Yeah.
And Marcus, you know, can speak more to that, or we're going to use that to really secure access for the community and the public. And we want people to understand that. Not because them come and them can draw them wire fence, because the government make a statement earlier when Jabem put out his press release. The government came out and said they did not give anybody any permission to restrict access to the beach and take over the beach. And we are telling the government that you don't need to do that. Once the man owns the land, him draw him wire fence, because I write that. No man never ask the government if he can fence up his yard.
Yeah, block everything.
So you draw him wire fence and lock you out. And so we have to press on that. And Marcus can elaborate some more how that
I know something.
Works.
The government is in cahoots with them because them know they're not going to make a highway over the other side and block out that side of the road that the people them can't use it. It's deliberate.
It's definitely because it's the plan to have the access point from St. Thomas.
Yes,
The access point where everybody moves from there, that link. They will now privatize through St. Thomas.
Yes.
Through the hotel.
Deliberate.
So, it's no such a government is not only, it's about those who have the land rights there. You know, it's a national struggle, because I'm saying that it's not because people love all while and international as well. So we are pursuing the Prescription Act, you know, which is one of the old piece of legislation. It's from 1882. It gives the public the right to apply, you know, to the court. That's the thing. Again, these laws to put the onus on the public to have to take these actions, you know. But it does give the right to apply to the court to get these long-standing beaches and access points, roads, tracks, pathways that lead to and from the beaches to be recognized as public access point and a public right to the beach, you know, whether for fishing, for recreational purposes, and such purposes, for a 20-year period minimum, you know. So that's what we're going to pursue for Bob Marley Beach to remain for the public further.
It's rough.
And I would make a call all across the island to every communities, you know what I mean, who really use any track to access any beach, to contact Jabe, all right, and let us know where your tracks are, and we will work with those communities to protect those tracks, because there is a grand plan, all right, laid out by the Ministry of Tourism, which is now very intricate, managing, you know, different projects that, you know, include the development of exclusive resorts that is going to displace people from the beautiful beaches across the island. We want you to identify those easements. We want you to put up a sign there to say that, you know, whatever you call your beach, Jabem will work with you right now to protect them. And eventually we want a legislative change. It's going to have to be a political solution, but you have to put pressure on the government to politically change. And so you cannot really sit on the fence anymore to say, why the big man take over. No, you have rights, and you need to know in a mature way to look at the government and say, well, is this government dealing with my interests? And is my interest represented here? And if it's not, then you have to look elsewhere, you know what I mean, and make sure when you look elsewhere, you're asking the critical questions as far as relates to my land rights, my beach rights, and if you can protect my land rights and my beach rights, then maybe we can really work together.
Let me ask you something.
Part of the Jamaican ecological heritage.
Let me ask you something, Devon. I'm going to throw a spin bar in the whole argument. Warm to the river, then. Warm to the river, then. Where people are watch, when I have the water, then yeah, and go watch, and the spring, then they saw where we go be. Warm to them part. How that go? How that go? If a guy come on the side, say, I'm going to block up on it. You know why I ask? You know why I ask? We used to farm along over Valencia, you know, and the river there next door to the land. And I look over and say, oh, me never see no water. You know what I'm trying to say? The man up at the top, the big boy up at the top, I think him have some woolly land with orange and thing there. In block the river. How that go?
So you know that all surface and groundwater in Jamaica is owned by the government, right? And managed through, I think, National Water Commission. So for him to have done that, he would have to seek that permission from that agency to divert that water. But the government, I'm not, astute on the
river
as far as
river and spring
waters are moved, but permission have to be given, and until that agency can give it to do so.
Yeah, because over St. Thomas, them build up a little hotel thing and channel the water in the place, but then you can walk on the side and go down the hill, go get the hot water, see them here. So you don't really have to go over there to go pay. Unless you want to stay overnight and thing. You pay your money and stay there. But you can still go up on the side and go down there, go catch the hot water still. I don't know if you ever go down there yet, over back them.
No, I never been there, but in general, right? The same kind of prescriptive law that, to maintain access to your rivers, you can apply. So if there was a track where you walk up to your river, and the minute, say, as Marcus said, minimum 20 years, you can apply to regain it. Because we've seen those threats coming in. Because remember, Dunn's River feeds from up into the Bogue and Roaring River. And we understand that, some entity, Chinese entity have them eyes on it. And I'm hearing buzz like, there ought to be some kind of transaction with respect to that. So the protection of these resources, the environmental protection is really not there. And that's why that rights of nature component that we are looking at, we are adopting within JABEM, that really will state that these natural wonders, these really critical ecosystems, that support life, and within themselves have the right to exist, need to have protection. And we can't just kind of like go one round and a fight, a one battle here and a one battle there. We have to really have a structured plan how we move towards it.
We have to move now, though. We have to move.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. We give thanks to the Virgin. You clarify a whole heap of things, but I want you to check out the river and think, just blinking at my head a while ago, because I have a little situation where we used to figure out. Anyway, give thanks.